Welcome back, everybody, here to your grand final of the US qualifier for the Epicenter best of 5 matchup between Complexity Gaming as well as Shazam. I'm W1. I'm here as your English caster tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon, wherever you are around the world, tuning in to watch some Dota 2. We are here in what is now a level series. We're both 1-1. Hi, Scant. Welcome back.
So do you go back to your original prediction? I know you were saying complexity 3-0, so do you now think it'll be complexity 2-0? Is that...
You mean 3-1? You mean the 2-0, this best of 3 now? I would still lean that way, just because I think Complexity still can play better Dota. Like, what happened in game number 1? I don't even want to say it was a freak of nature. It was just Complexity getting massively caught out in a really bad drafted situation. If that didn't happen, we probably would have gone down the same lines that we did in this game. But that didn't happen. Shazam got a big advantage, and Complexity, more than likely, like, you could just have, like, game 1 warm-up problems. I don't see that really happening again, so yeah, my money is still on the Complexity side of the fence.
Alright, I think that's where the fair money's at, more generally speaking. And what's interesting to me is if we look at both these games, the team that won both times was the team that got an early advantage and kind of like kept that advantage up, but they had completely different approaches to doing it. Like, Shazam got that advantage and they snowballed hard until the game ended, and Complexity got it and they just kind of passively built it up. Like, sure, they killed a few towers, but once they had a substantial lead, they just sat and choked Shazam out of the game, which I do think is an approach that the more experienced and sort of cohesive teams are able to do more than others, which is maybe, you know, it maybe is less. It's less easy for me to imagine Shazam winning a game like that by getting an early advantage and then incrementally increasing it. I think that's exactly where they are likely to be Complexities if they do like they did in the first game, you know, get that lead for whatever reason, whether it's a draft or outplay reason, and then just like snowball really hard. And they are going to start with the Earth Spirit given the opportunity again, and there's certainly a hero that can play into that kind of narrative for them.
10 seconds remaining.
There's also a very standard 1 pick. The question is how Complexity want to try and like combo. They do have the 2 picks together. Last time they were in such a position, we saw a Wisp Tiny come out. Their Chen's been removed in this game. They've been denied once again the Swindles Beastmaster. A lot of respect is given to Swindles for that hero, especially after his contributions at the Major. And how do you want to start this game up? We still haven't seen Z-Freak's Enigma. Instead, well, actually, Swindles is going to be greedy. As in greedy, selfish, takes the Darkseer for himself, and also picks up his mid. For a series where by the end of the 3rd pick we've known both the supports of both sides, this is a change-up.
Yeah, it is. But this is like, I think this is Swindle reflecting on the series so far and saying, I feel like he's thinking along similar lines to what I was just saying, and I'm not saying that just because that's what I was saying, but the way that Shazam beat them... If
I have to agree with myself, I will. Okay, fine. Yes. I've talked myself into it.
The way that Shazam beat them game 1, and probably the most likely way for Shazam to beat them, is by getting a big lead and then just snowballing. And you go with this Darkseer Invoker combination like they had last game, and it's just super unlikely that happens to you. These are just such stable heroes that are almost certain to get, you know, some amount of good value early on, and then just there will be a roadblock. No amount of early snowballing gives you an easy fight once the mid game starts against heroes like Darkseer and Invoker. They can split up the map, they can split push, they're great in the fights, and they do very well in the lane. So it's that stable draft, which can't be exploited in any obvious or direct ways.
Enchantress.
Oh, it's no easy being green. Brax is going to make them both green. It's the Earth Spirit and the Enchantress. They can plant a garden. You do this over nature's prophet? Come on, that hero is a god.
I just want to know, are you quoting the Muppets?
Yes.
That's totally a song from the Muppets, right?
Yes. It was a song by Kermit.
I love that song.
Obviously, because he's green.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, there's a cover of that song by Andrew Bird, which I think is incredible. If people are into such things, but
I know, unless he's singing Rainbow Connection as well, I don't know if I can look at it.
Team ban.
No, I think he just does that one, unfortunately. But yeah, it's again complexity. You're gonna get rid of the Batrider, which super interesting when there's an Earth Spirit and an Enchantress. I think. I guess MSS plays Batrider mid as well, so that would be the justification because it's not very likely a team would have Earth Spirit and Enchantress as their two supports. I think at least because then both your supports are roaming supports. You have no lane cover.
Yeah, in a way I can
10
understand that, but at the
remaining.
same time we also had like a Wisp and a Skywrath mage together.
5
Hey.
seconds remaining.
Wisp is a laning support.
Yeah, sorry, true. Yeah,
Complexities turn to pick.
I mean, it's not completely unheard of. A team can do it,
Radiant team
but and to be honest, like the fact that it's their first two picks makes me think that like maybe they will do it because otherwise it's just giving away so much information to say, ha, here's our offlaner, it's Enchantress, deal with that. So maybe they will just run the dual roaming supports, but again, that's a very exploitable draft as well. And complexity take the Crystal Maiden, which is gonna be good against either supports or offlane Enchantress, so they don't really mind either way.
yeah. And it's also another comfort hero for Z-Freak. One of those
5
heroes that can just
seconds
jump back
remaining.
into the jungle and do his thing. Also great teamfight control, the synergy with the Darkseer. While it's not really obvious as like something like a Disruptor, where obviously you drag everyone into a huge wall, if you can get a good positioning for your freezing field and get Glimmer caped up, without getting kicked by the Earth Spirit, of course, then you're gonna just wreck face. Like they've actually got so much AoE on complex lineup with just their first three. If they synergize everything, I think they wipe almost any major hero apart from like a Centaur.
I actually totally agree on Crystal Maiden ulti, by the way. I think it's a freezing field very, very underrated ulti. There's actually I don't know if you ever saw, but you know Slash has those Slash's Way videos. He has a Crystal Maiden guide, which is all about he thinks that people shouldn't play it as a 5-position support, they should play it as a 4-position support, rush BKB and just destroy things with the ulti. And like, I mean, like, that hasn't caught on, but a lot of Slash's Ways videos have caught on. Like, Earn on Spec was his thing, Aghanim Sept on Wind Ranger was his thing.
Do you remember the Crystal Maiden by Puppy? It was done back when Alchemist mids were rushing Aghanim Scepters for somebody else. And he ended up getting so much. I think it was actually which version of Secret was that? I
don't recall the game, but it does sound pretty brutal.
Yeah, because he got an Aghanim Scepter. It was the second Aghanim's upgrade that the Alchemist gave because he got so many kills and so much money. He actually gave like I think it was it? It had to be an EE version. I'm fairly certain it was an EE version. Because EE built up Solar Crest and then gave Aghanims away. And then he had so much money he picked up a second Aghanim Scepter and gave it to Puppy. And Puppy's like walking around with like 1800 life and just throws the ulti down with the Aghanim's upgrade in the middle of everything. It's like, yo, what's up, boys? What you gonna do? It was a sight to behold. But this puts a question in my mind now. Enigma pickup by Complexity after they've already got the Crystal Maiden. I'm gonna feel very odd. Z-Freak will play the Enigma, obviously, but this pushes him away from his normal Crystal Maiden, and this one goes Crystal Maiden to 5th.
Hanskin can play anything though, and I actually think Crystal Maiden and Enigma is a really nice support duo to have. They both can get value from the jungle. Obviously, CM doesn't want to take the part of the jungle that Enigma's in, but if Shazam were to have passive supports, like I mean, Dazzle's not going to interfere with your jungling, and Earth Spirit's going to struggle actually to deal with Enigma's jungling. It can annoy the mid lane, it can annoy the off lane with the Enchantress.
I think actually Swindles has realized exactly what's wrong here. This actually is an Enchantress off lane, which it has to be. Then you're not going to have any real force rotations into your own jungle. The Dazzle's definitely not going to go. The Earth Spirit could roll in, but then he goes into a whole bunch of conversions and Maleficent stun. He might disrupt the Enigma, but then you just rotate the Crystal Maiden over. Or the Invoker can lend a Forge Spirit.
Yeah, I feel like Shazam at this stage in the draft are already quite all in on the Earth Spirit and Enchantress, and it's the first two picks they draft, but I would expect the Earth Spirit's going to go with the Enchantress into that off lane early on, and they're hoping that lane just does exceptionally well. And if it doesn't, they're just going to get less value out of the lane stage. Like, there's nothing else to it. They can't possibly get as much value as Complexity get from the lane stage, unless that lane does extremely well.
Complexities turn to pick.
Yeah, he is gone. And by the way, when we talk about Crystal Maiden ulti, you got a Darkseer, you got an Enigma. There's that setup. There's potential for everyone to look the one way, and all of a sudden it's
the huge back.
yeah. But you gotta prepare one
that one.
no. You gotta be. I want you to be pointing to the freezing field, not the black hole.
I know, man.
5
Like
seconds
eyes
remaining.
compared to the sucking away of the universe. I could go with
That's
black
true.
hole.
I mean, the black hole is much cooler, but the freezing field is like could actually build the DPS to kill an entire team. It can. It does something. That's like.
I want to see the DPS from Complexity's coL that can kill off a Death Prophet while she's in Exorcism. Like, that's actually what made Ursa such a great pick here. Someone that's tanky enough that will survive the Death Prophet thanks to all the damage negation, which is not a correct word.
And it's like a hard counter to Enchantress, right? Which is like So honestly, this is like. They think with the Jungle Enigma, the Crystal Maiden is not enough to deal with the Enchantress and the Earth Spirit. So they're assuming Complexity need actually a safe laner that makes that lane work. And they ban the Ursa. They've already banned the Jagger and the Tiny, also good heroes for that position. And I think that Shazam they might be right about this. They might be right that Enchantress and Earth Spirit will probably bully Crystal Maiden plus the carry. But I think they need to do,
5 seconds
they need to get
remaining.
so much value of that lane that it justifies having the Enigma in the jungle. And I don't know if it's going to be enough so they go up against the CM appeal, they get a little bit ahead. That won't be enough. They need to do, like, extremely well in that lane, I think.
The last pick here from Swindles, like, it makes so much sense. Like, the Ursa would have been good, but, like, you ban this Ven as the last one, you take away, like, the clearance hero. So it already felt like, for me, that the PL was on the mind of Swindle. Like, assuming that Brax is going to be banning the Ursa, this is prepared
10
for it.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously they've, again, Complexity probably feel like Phantom Lance and CM can just be fine there. And it is, Phantom Lance, like, let's not forget, has big nuke damage. Crystal Maiden can deal with Enchantress creeps if she wants, or she can just use the nukes on the Enchantress and... Wow, we go all the way back to the anti-mage. So there's like a... That is the new plan. That is kind of like
a TC special, bro. It's a TC special. He loves his anti-mage.
Yeah, I just mean it's like, so for the other 4 picks, the draft looked very much like they got to crash the offlane or they're hopeless. Yeah. And now there's another plan to their draft, which is anti-mage could just do anti-mage things. That could happen.
Yeah, this will actually turn into exactly that. This will turn into offlane and mid lane do as much damage, as much rotation as like 4 heroes together. Once Death Prophet has like Exorcism, like you can force down some buildings a little bit, create space for the anti-mage. Stop Complexity from adding any level of pressure to your own towers, which means protecting the tier 1 towers for Shazam has to be like priority number uno. Like they have to be all over those towers so anti-mage can have as much space to move as he freely wants to. If they can do that, then TC is going to be pretty damn good.
In some ways, this is an excellent draft for an anti-mage. Like there's a lot of insult heroes that he can abuse. It's quite difficult for them to control him outside of like a black hole. Early on, CM's freeze is quite good against him before he's got Mantle or BKB. But it's quite hard to kill him. He can abuse them, and he's gonna outfarm the Phantom Lance almost certainly if they both have their regular item timings. His farm progression is just quicker. So, actually, wait. 4th factor, he's against the Darkseer, which is like well known to be anti-mage likes that matchup, which there's basically no safe lane farm that likes the matchup except the anti-mage. So I think it's a really nice game for an anti-mage. I'm not sure if the anti-mage fits with the rest of the Shazam draft that naturally, but anti-mages have been known to work in just about any draft if they hit their timings.
30 seconds.
Not much of a surprise here. The Complexity are going to... Well, I didn't think that'd be that obvious with their ward. They want to block up this camp. There's no way they want to give Enchantress a free creep that she can get access to. She's going to try and get one. They have to work with this, and more than likely Crystal Maiden will just body block that herself. So, that's fine.
Yeah. It's actually quite a nice ward to block with, I think, because usually people block far off to the right, because they think it's difficult to unblock.
Like in the tree line down here.
Yeah, exactly. So I think then a counter ward which spots that might be all the way on the right and won't actually find this one.
Well, let's start the lanes and we'll see just how well TC gets to do in the matchup up against Swindles. While into the middle lane, it will be the Chessie Quas starting Invoker up against MSS. So Chessie makes sure he doesn't get run down by MSS. And Savage will definitely try and help out with that. Just a simple boulder into the Spirit Siphon. Spirit Siphon took a little bit longer to get off there from MSS. So they won't get as much out of this as they probably wanted to. And Chessie's here for the efficiency. He makes himself a happy tree. So as much regeneration as he can possibly get out of this Invoker he's going for. He just has to survive, that's all.
By the way, Hanskin didn't opt to body block the camp, he rather just let it spawn and farmed it himself. And sure, Enchantress is going to get level 2 as a result, but I kind of respect this play. I think it's nice. Get your Crystal Maiden some levels in the meantime and go back in
I would be fine with it as long as Brax doesn't actually get that mana burn creep, at which point Limp is going to be very pissed. Chessie. Careful not to get too aggressive. Okay, you actually see what he's doing now. Second point up into Wex. He wants Ghost Walk. So if they go on him, actually there's still a sentry over on the Earth Spirit, so that won't be enough to save him. And Earth Spirit's being a real pain in the ass of Z-Freak. Before Z-Freak's actually picked up his second level, because normally Z-Freak, like he doesn't normally take out this tree line. It happens from time to time that he does it. But in this game, I'm wondering if it's even more worthwhile him leaving that there because of like the way he can kite this way.
Yeah, I think that's a consideration for sure. He also might want to consider. I mean, he's saving his points for now because he might want to use a stun if he gets into one of these early fights. And the split second attempt on mid is working out better than the first.
Poor Chessie survives only barely, and Savage is so low. Chessie, he was moving forward like he wanted to try and capitalize on it. But now he's going to make sure he stays out of range of the Crypt Swarm of MSS. Even with his Quas regeneration and Tangos.
And that's the Enigma is like only the secondary target for the Earth Spirit. The Invoker's the main plan for this Earth Spirits. And
well, Savage,
so far,
don't do it,
Invoker's
Savage.
2 creeps.
Sorry,
Invoker's 2 creep kills. He's 6 times this year.
Every time. I'm sorry. We're literally going to the cast.
Yeah.
It was my fault that time.
I'm sorry, it was my fault several times as well, but I mean, yeah. And Earth Spirit's done his job so far, I think. He has shut down the Invoker tremendously, and now he's going to the top lane to try to help out the Enchantress.
Yeah, balling forward after Hanskin. Hanskin gonna get kicked as well. He's already had to consume up that Fairy Fire and Limp because he doesn't have a Lance available. Hanskin is trying to juke it around the tree lines. The Frostbite did come back up again. A quick salve as Hanskin finds a little bit of extra space and they're gonna get the damage out. Frack still wants to kill and he'll be able to get it. But Limp's extra Lance did the work.
I still think Hanskin, what a player. Like that's everything there was perfect. He like scraped through the exact right stuff with the Fairy Fire, with the salve, etc. And I feel like 9 times out of 10 in that situation, it's just the Crystal Maiden dying and Earth Spirit doesn't.
Yep. Well, PL is now going to die. Actually, he's got Doppelganger available, so he's going to use it now. Runs far enough away and into the Frostbite of Hanskin's safety. But he'll be okay on that front. And remember, Complexity will always be okay with this. And the reason is, Z-Freak is having the time of his life. Savage hasn't managed to steal enough from Z-Freak, so he's level 5, 4 minutes into this game. And the way Z-Freak plays this jungle, he'll come out with mech at around the 7 to 8 minute mark. If he wants to rush it. Like, he'll even do that over Soul Ring sometimes. Considering he's holding on to 1200 gold, that's the only reason why I think he might be trying to do that again. Nope, I take it back. He got by Soul Ring straight.
It's the trade-off though, right? The Earth Spirit hasn't shut down the Enigma, that's very clear. But because they have an Enigma, the other lanes are weaker, and the Earth Spirit has done pretty well to shut down the Invoker, and he's done reasonably well to help the Enchantress in the off lane too. So it's one of those games where I feel like the value of having the Enigma is going to have to justify itself once it comes out of the jungle and starts ganking and pushing. Because otherwise, yes, you're right, Complexity might see it as a perfectly fine trade-off, but it needs to still justify itself, because definitely, they're not going to be happy with the Invoker having 11 creeps when the Death Prophet is 26.
That's TP swindle. I can agree with you, like the Invoker's not gonna have a great time, but this is the Complexity way they play. Like they're always happy to sacrifice Chessie because they know they'll buy him more space later on to catch up. So yeah, I'm not really feeling a problem in Complexity's mindset, at least with how poorly the Invokers had up against the Death Prophet. I think they already assumed this. Like, overall, yeah, Shazam's got a 350 gold lead. The experience is building up the complexity. And they still know they're going to hit their sweet teamfight timing. Chessie.
I just want to watch this Earth Spirit. He did really well in the first game as well on Earth Spirit Savage, and he's already done a lot, I think. I mean, it doesn't matter if you think which team is happy with what's happening. It's very clear that Earth Spirit's making a lot of moves and hitting all of his spells, being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and this time he doesn't have that pull jump. Because he was sitting at level 2.5 in game 1 for like maybe 5-6 minutes. Until that fight happened around the Radiant Ancients, at which point he then got back into the game. This time around, like, yeah, he's got 1 death to his name, but he's definitely got a lot more levels out of the laning phase. And Brax,
considering
that's very aggressive.
Yeah, it's... By the way, Brax's response to Crystal Maiden counterpick is he just doesn't level enchants at all, apparently. He's just not going to play with creeps this game. He's just like, what? You gotta freeze me.
He's a DPSer?
Yeah, I guess so. And I mean, that's certainly one way to approach things. I feel like you still get value out of the enchant, but okay, he's doing the DPS there.
So yeah, I actually wonder if you get the point out of enchant, or if it's actually even better just to go pure stats. That was actually really nicely done by Brax. He knew that Limpus can have like a low level up in Doppelganger, so the cooldown time of 25 seconds is a big opening. So you just wait that time out and then make the play. They still have to do something to stop Z-Freak. Like, Z-Freak, yeah, okay, he's not even going to rush in towards the mech. Picked up treads and smoke with his Soul Ring.
Yeah, he wants to use his Black Hole. This is very typical of Enigmas. They want to use their Black Hole reasonably early after getting in. He's already level 8, so
he needs
smoke into Black Hole gang. Yeah.
Got Observer will look like going to watch him like a hawk the second he breaks out of that tree line. I suppose if he works with Chessie, that could function. Base Brutes plus treads. Coming over for Chessie and Z-Freak while they go for this, and they're heading towards bottom lane.
Yeah, this is the perfect hero to kill, to be honest. This is like the... If they keep the anti-mage down this game...
Tornado's too far off. That's a big blow.
Yeah, if the Tornado hits, it's a very easy Black Hole, and they'll make the kill, but Tornado misses, and... It's... What I was gonna say before though, if they manage to keep the anti-mage down, and, like, shut down his farm timings... Complexity are almost certainly going to win this game. At this point, like, I feel like game plan for Shazam is to buy time for the anti-mage. That's like their main game plan. The DP, the Enchantress, they're quite secondary, I think, in the plan that they're going for.
Say hello to your mid lane presence, MSS. Attacking into the tier 1 tower. They're going to keep off on the fortification for now. Meanwhile, Z-Freak takes the tier 1 tower on bottom lane with the help of the creep skipping Swindles. In Complexity, they can time this fortification nicely. Exorcism's only got another maybe 5-7 seconds left on it. So they can definitely do it if they want to bring this tower within deny range and then just stop it then. But they hold on to it for now. Top lane, the PL is going to get picked off. Looks like a nice play by Savage with the damage from the Enchantress. Finds the kill.
Yeah, so PL definitely getting shut down. But again, it's not as big a deal. Like, the Complexity are not all about PL having a great start, and you made the point as well, the Invoker.
Goodbye, Jason. Shellowgrave, Z-Freak, is it gonna be worth it? Tornado flies up and towards the air. Shellowgrave will now wear off, and no, he doesn't need to do it for a dazzle. Good position to find the kill.
Because I think now they were about to lose their tier 1 mid, and they're probably gonna get the enemy tier 1 mid instead. Especially because they've still got the Black Hole to represent, the DP doesn't have Exorcism, and I think they very possibly can get this tower.
This is now the issue we're seeing. Like, you got a great roaming and surviving dual combo support from Shazam, but where's your D push? Like,
well,
doesn't even really exist.
She had the Crypt Swarm, and she's now run out of mana, but Dazzle's gonna come back and refill her bottom.
Chessie just missed another Tornado. Like, he's looking for the Tornado EMP combo on Brax, and now with this Lance from Limp, they're going to remove off all the mana of Brax. They need more damage, however, and they cannot inflict it in time. Brax's TP out will be successful.
That's one of those sequences where I feel like everyone in Twitch chat is going to be typing OS Frog, just because Enchantress is like...
He freaked out with mid tower.
Has been denied.
I like it out.
Radiant's top tower.
I don't know.
is under attack.
It intuitively it feels weird that a hero can get out of a gank in that fashion. Just kind of like, I mean, this is really fragile Enchantress just standing there looking at everyone laughing. I'll turn on my hill. Yeah, I'm in a TP out. You can't do anything.
You could also say it's a problem of complexity for not having enough stuns in their lineup. The one major one they had was the tornado of Chessie, and it missed the initiation. It won't miss the initiation in mid, however, and Zfig, he wants that black hole to go off. The kick will fly forward, and Chessie armed with the pullback. The Spirit Siphon, this is what they feared. MSS turning the fight on its head. Or KTC. He was looking for some kill secure right there. Complexity losing 2 heroes, and that was the time they committed their black hole.
It's always this Earth Spirit, man. It's just like 2 games, Complexity have given away the first pick Earth Spirits, and both times the Earth Spirits has just done fantastically well. So I don't know, regardless of who wins this game, I don't know, maybe Complexity want to start respecting an Earth Spirit.
Limp. Brax coming over, turns on the Magnetize, but that's amazing how good Doppelganger is when there's only also 1 rock around you. And Savage now, he's in a little bit too deep. Lance supply out from Limp, he's got no more bottle charges available with a Phantom Rush, he's able to rush himself forward in towards Savage, and Savage is trying to take the bait. Z-Freak's looking for more, so Savage will go down. Z-Freak doesn't have the stun available, he knows he can't stop Brax from running out of here. With a Tornado long range, again it's too short, and also misdirected.
And also, honestly, in that position, I don't even know if they kill, if they hit the Tornado, they don't have the, I mean, it's not just about the disabled, you need burst damage usually to deal with Enchantress. Because between an untouchable and a heal, it's just really difficult to kill her if you don't have burst damage. Honestly, the Crystal Maiden ulti might be their best way to kill her right now, but Hanskin hasn't actually leveled it yet, so...
Surge forward into the Maleficent, but the kick perfect from Savage, and Z-Freak's dead. With the Magnetize, they're going to ball forward. Z-Freak to the tree line. He cannot TP himself out. This was to try an EMP Tornado. He'll Midnight Pulse and buy a little bit more space. Swindles, surges him up. He doesn't run away, however. He just creates more conversions for the tower to farm up. The rest of Complexity won out. The kick kicks into the back of Swindles. Only barely, however. But it's still close enough now with the Mana Void. Limp. He can't do anything about it. Swindles was dead no matter what there. MSS also added a lot of pressure towards bottom lane at the same time.
Yeah, he killed the tier 1 and started pressuring the tier 2. It's pretty worrying for Complexity that they can lose a fight while the DP's on the other side of the map, pushing towers.
Complexity are actually getting, I don't want to say outplayed, I want to say out-rotated. Like that mid lane fight when they try to go onto the Death Prophet, that's just Complexity calculation error. They thought they had enough to kill her off, including the Black Hole, and it really just wasn't enough. And that's just skyrocketed Death Prophet forward.
I think they're a bit antsy. They're just like, they wanted to get value out of their Black Hole and they kept not finding the opportunity, and eventually they just went for it. And Earth Spirit was there, so it wasn't a great idea. And afterwards what's happened subsequently is that Shazam have just taken advantage of the fact that Enigma's ulti is on cooldown. And while Enigma's ulti is on cooldown, they know that they can be forceful and aggressive, abuse their Enchantress and their Earth Spirit. I mean, they're the team that has an anti-mage, and yet they're the ones that are in the stronger fighting position.
Yep. Especially considering that Anti-Mage is now the highest net worth on the field, and that's before he's picked up his Battle Fury. This was not meant to be the case for Complexity. Complexity were meant to have all the money in the world. They had the experience advantage of just over 2,000. The gold's almost reaching 4k in favor of Shazam. And this means big items coming up. MSS now becoming even more difficult to kill. Picking up his Yule Scepter. They're going to find the PL. He's got Doppelganger, but can't get off in time. Savage just locks him down. And you got a dual support trying to force the mid. Brax will TP over pretty confidently, but now he's actually surrounded by 4 heroes because Swindles also makes his play. So EMP, Tornado, Brax gets the heal. How much damage have they got with the Iron Shell, and they hold him in position? Brax will go down. Enigma will end the spree. Jason comes in too late, so Complexity finally gets something back their way.
Yeah, but that's what it takes to kill an Enchantress. It's...
Well, Brax over-aggressively TPing into 4 heroes of Complexity?
Yeah, that's what it takes, apparently. And interesting, you see Z-Freak actually complete the drum. So again, because the Dark says the mech, the Enigma usually goes mech, doesn't have to, and he's got Tread's Drum Enigma, which is a build that I don't think I've ever seen on the hero before.
Okay, Chessie has hit, I think, as a random percentage, 20% of his tornadoes. He's now going to EMP Swindle, locked in a corner. He's got his mech charge available, and it's maybe worthwhile doing it as they drum charge forward. There goes the mech. Do pick off the Death Prophet. felt like it was a really worthwhile kill. But again, we know Swindles likes to play fish, or I should say, bait. TC still does a lot of work on bottom lane. That tier 2 tower should go down now. In fact, he jumps forward. With one more attack, he'll kill off Hanskin, but he actually man-avoided first and then attacked. Which means that Hanskin's able to walk himself away to safety. Brag's trying to keep Complexity out. Nice doppelganger from Limp will dodge the kick. They still bring down that tier 1 tower. So all tier 1 towers now down the map apart from the Dire tier 1 on top. And we're only 16 minutes into the game.
It's a pretty good series of plays for Complexity, all things considered. I mean, they're definitely behind.
They need more. Drum charge is triggered once again, but this is to get out, not to stay in. Unless Limp with the taste room feels he can make a play.
Complexity definitely still behind, but they're getting something from the game, and they've still got some timings, and especially they didn't have to use the black hole to win that last fight and push that tower. It's very, very valuable, as we were talking about in the last game, keeping a black hole off cooldown whenever you are threatening to go into a fight. It gives the other team so much to think about, compared to the value that we did see Shazam already get in this game when they knew the black hole wasn't ready and they could just push their advantage.
What do you think about the next item for Brax? Like, he's building an Aghanim Scepter right now. But should it be BKB directly after? Is that the play for an Enchantress offlane DPS?
I mean, in this game you might need it. Enchantress is a hero that's when you got Dragon Lance and Aghanims, that's when you want your team to be owning the enemy team, and the later the game goes, the less it's going to become about that Enchantress. Like, you can also go for a Moonshard, you can go for a Hex. But really, it's like that's the peak of the hero, the Dragon Lance, the Aghanim Scepter. It's not the greatest of late game carries at all, and neither is the Death Prophet either. And that's why I feel like the draft ultimately is about, these heroes do a lot early on, but if the game's gonna go late, then it becomes about the anti-mage. And I don't even mean like very late, just like sort of medium late or the start of the late game. That's where the anti-mage becomes the key hero.
A 17-minute Roshan attempt without Forged Spirits. They're going to rotate over. This is going to take some really good micro from Z-Freak to keep as many of his conversions alive as possible. AKA needs to always have one so we can resummon, which is what they're going to do now. And this is what makes this possible. Like, Shazam already pinged this out and they're pretty aware, but like, what are you going to do? Are you going to jump TC into the middle of Roshan? Blind? No. Instead, you make sure the top tower is taken out by the Radiant side. Aegis Simona will go the way of Chessie and you accept the loss.
There was a time when Enigmas were soloing Roshans with just their summons, but I guess it's not that time anymore.
That's a very long time ago. Complexity are moving up, so what do we get 4 stamp over on Chessie. Looks like Hanskin's building something similar, unless he's considering Yules.
What's Z-Freak gonna buy? Because this is like, I mean, the Treads drum build is already pretty unorthodox on Enigma, and he's got another, 2.4. Okay, it's the Blink Dagger. That's what I was wondering. That's actually does seem like the play here to me. There's plenty of things to stop his ulti, but again, what I was talking about before, whenever he's got his ulti up, they need to be worried about it. If he has a Blink Dagger, it like sort of amplifies that effect.
It's gonna be the wombo combo as well with the Darks here. I guess it's gonna be Swindle's next major item to a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it precisely, it makes it, and it's Blink Dagger is always those items where like, before you reveal it, you can get a lot of value out of it, but they don't mind once it is revealed, because it's going to be in Shazam's mind for the rest of the game. Like, they're going to be scared in team fights, knowing that those items and those spells are. Luckily for Shazam, they don't really need to win the game via team fights. They've got an anti-mage, and he's strutting his stuff on. Tornado actually does get hits this time, and actually EMP hits too, so no mana on anti-mage. Too bad there's no one there to help the Invoker.
It's not too bad though. Well, actually, yeah, it is. Because I was like, wow, you could really slow down TC's rate of farm, but now Z-Freak. TC doesn't have as many blinks after him, and now, well, you can try and black hole this one. Do they have enough damage with just a Quas Wex Invoker? And the answer is no. With the cold snaps, okay, the answer is yes. MSS couldn't get over in time to help out his teammate. They find the pick off. Tornado again from Chase. He's going to fly astray. I had the Dazzle there anyway to help him out. That's a big pick. That's the biggest net worth hero on the field at the moment. That's a 1k swing of both gold and experience with just one kill.
Yeah, if the Earth Spirit was near again and he had like cancelled the black hole again, I think Complexity would have just face palmed hard, but I think they had spotted him at the mid lane previously and felt confident to do that.
This weave effect. Actually, then again, it's they don't really care. Complexity can add pressure a little bit, but not too much. They're just trying to keep Shazam back behind their own tier 2 tower in mid. Because Complexity need time. Like, you went for this 4-stop to start with, and you see it from Chetty's item progression. Like, he goes for almost the classic style build. It's the 20-minute hand of Midas over on the Invoker. I remember Dendi was one of the ones who was doing this a lot. Like, you'd pick up a positional item, something like a Blink Dagger on a puck, and then you'd go into something like a Midas.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you put too much pressure on yourself. That's, I think, the real issue. If you don't go for the Midas here, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. To keep scaling with the enemy cores, you need to keep making kills. And once you have the Midas, like, sure, you still want to look for those kills, but you can keep up anyway.
Bottom lane, say goodbye to the Enchantress. Hanskin's gonna let it go in a moment. There's your Frostbite, into the EMP, let it go. Brax has seen you have enough space with the fact the ball is up from Swindles, and Brax is still on the run out here, but MSS comes in so close to Tornado, it still doesn't actually even kill off Brax. Swindles will have to take it for the team. There's 5 heroes to come down to the bottom lane to try and kill him off. They commit the Exorcism as well from Shazam, while the PL continues to farm. I'm almost going to say again, it's a Swindle's death creation. A soft space.
Yeah, maybe. Although I think there they did expect to make the kill, and I think it's the second time this game Complexity had caught out. The first time was that at that mid gank of the black hole, Earth Spirit's there, cancels it and turns it around to them. And this time the Dazzle's there, just gets the grave off. And I mean, you got to recognize that Shazam have these kind of supports that if someone's standing behind a carry protecting them and you commit, it's always going to be turned on you.
It's still not a bad time that, like, Complexity are able to get Shazam to have their ulties down for a long time while Black Hole's off. So yeah, it's...
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Both teams will just have to reset at this point. And once the Diffuser Blade is up as well, because I think that's something which also Complexity are really banking on. The fact they can just drain out all the mana of the Enchantress. That's the reason why I was also thinking like BKB is the next major item for an Enchantress, is to protect her from the mana burn. So she can keep throwing out these impetus.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things that are useful for her to get BKB to protect herself against. It's just, I don't know. I almost feel like it becomes academic at that point. Once she's got the Ags, the next item is like, it's usually not going to be the decisive item for a team to win the game. It's very much the anti-mage. The DP is still very strong right now too, but it's. You gotta look at this anti-mage and think, what is their timing, at what point, like which items they want anti-mage to have before they think they can actually win the game. Because it's not like if this game goes infinitely long. Oh,
Hanskin.
Hands.
He's dead. But he breaks the smoke gank of Shazam. This actually ended up protecting Z-Freak and potentially as well actually saving up Chessie. Because Chessie was in a slightly, like, risky position. Savage gonna chase up after the Enigma. He turns on the Magnetize, but doesn't stop Swindles from surging Z-Freak back almost to where his tier 1 tower used to stand. And Z-Freak will make a break for the tree line. He needs time without the Magnetize so he can blink. Starts his TP instead, the kick is off the mark. And he will get out to safety.
What Complexity are going to be counting on in this game, and what I was trying to get at before the fight broke out, is that Anti-Mage is it's not like Spectre where the game goes really late, you get lots of items and you just win because you're so strong. Anti-Mage actually usually carries by having a gap. And he's got that gap right now, but the gap doesn't last forever the longer the game goes. So there's a certain point in every game where a team that has Anti-Mage I think has to decide now the hero must push more aggressively in terms of split pushing, or now he must fight with the hero. It's never before the Manta, so obviously that wouldn't have happened yet. But I feel like maybe one item after Manta, whether it's Abyssal Blade, BKB, whatever, that's the point where they probably want to take advantage of the gap the AM has.
Now I want to see what Complexity do for the next minute and a half before Roshan could potentially spawn. Z-Freak's going in for his BKB, so he's farming up Ancients while he's got a moment. Swindles is hoping for an opening, and well, they might have been able to find one over on Brax. Look for those extra iron shells, 4-staffing Hanskin forward. So now, there goes your freezing field down, the kick, a kendo perfect from Savage. and Hanskin, he's going to need that mech from Swindle. Now Z-Freak in for the two-man black hole. They've still got Tornado available as well from Chessie. He'll send that Earth Spirit up and back down again, and the damage with the cold wall holds Frank in position. MSS, another already committed, another kill he won't get. Hanskin lives on 38 HP. The top tier 2 tower will be taken, but a triple kill for the Invoker, propelling Chessie forward, not to mention, now significant damage done for the tier 2. This may even just be a straight tower trade-off.
And this is why teams pick heroes, like this is why you see teams pick like 3 or 4 heroes that all have great AoE abilities for fights, because CM and Darkseer go in, their combo gets disrupted. Enigma comes in next, his combo is also disrupted. And then finally the Invoker's there and you're just out of ways to deal with them, and he kills everyone.
And this is an Invoker, like, you're not even talking about like an Invoker with big items. TC, blink, he's fine. Alright, they're actually gonna 4-staff. Okay, Chessie will 4-staff himself forward on the chase. But yeah, like, this is an Invoker with 4-staff and Hand of Midas. Like, there's no Aghanim step, there's no Octarine. He just waited. Yeah, he just waited for the perfect time to get involved.
Yeah, it's like we've already dealt. Like usually when you've dealt with the Darkseer Vacuum, the Freezing Field, and the Black Hole, you feel pretty good about yourself. And then the Invoker comes in, tornadoes both your heroes, and just like finishes everyone off. There's just so much you have to deal with. And this is kind of what I was talking about before. This is a game that it's unlikely for Shazam to win by 5v5ing unless it's based on the anti-mage just having those key items that can't be dealt with. Yep. But the chances are that the game plan is more actually just anti-mage economic game, split the map up,
well, you see
get super far ahead.
Item. Like, it looks like either he's going for Monkey King Var, which I doubt. I actually think this guy actually got to be a basher in this game, so he can lock down and kill off that PL. That has to be the play. He's got to get involved in these fights. And they also need to give the space for Savage to finally do what he just did, and that's finish up the mech. The death before was pushing him back and back.
I'm guessing TC will go for the Abyssal Blade, or maybe the Bastion and stopping at BKB and then Abyssal Blade, but I think that the BKB is going to have to be part of that plan if he wants to go that kind of fighting route.
They all need the BKB, really. Aside from Death Prophet, she's fine with Octarine. Because she's Death Prophet.
Yep, I accept that argument. Well, in the meantime, Enigma has a blacking bar, which means that in future he gets a nice black hole. That's that. Yeah. You can do nothing. I mean, there is not like what is it? There's Mana Void. Yeah. Mana Void can go through.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is the only one that can stop it. So the easy reaction to that one is catch out the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, so if Enigma Black Hole BKB is the Anti-Mage, at that point it's like...
he's gonna miss. Never mind.
I suppose that at that point you can still grave your Anti-Mage, so it's not like there's like 100% trump cards there for complexity, but there's still... We're almost there. When you have an Enigma with a Blink and a BKB and there's very little that deals with this BKB, you get to the point where it's just like Shazam are like, how do we fight? Do we okay, they go for a smoke play, they hope they catch them out, outnumber them.
Well, they might have a chance. Chessie, out of position. He needs to get himself into a spot where he can force off, and he will. Over the hillside, back into Shadow Walk, and Roshan just spawned up. So Shazam will have a crack at this. They'll have the Dazzle armor. Protect them. Sunstrike from Invoker will scan out what's going on. And Swindle, so he already turns and surges. It looks like they will try and contest this. The Observer on the hillside, Hanskin, he's actually put up on the hill. TC's going to join him here. He needs a little bit more space. Z-Freak, well, where's your attack? Where's your opening? Brax just peppering them off your black hole. He managed to drag the edge of TC. The Brax is killing him off with the Impetus. TC, he will end up dropping thanks to the power of Limp being involved in that with Limp, and Paul Limp. He'll turn around to attack into MSS, burn off the mana. That Exorcism, it almost was ending. He doesn't get the life back. Hanskin comes back into fight as well. And then now is Dazzle being diffused up. He cannot run himself out of here. Even Savage is locked inside the Darkseer wall in with Roshan. He wants to boulder himself up towards the Ancients. I think Denial is his only way to survive. Well, actually, this is one way to survive. Complexity just say we don't even care. They're going to go for Roshan. He comes with a kick, but Limp dodges with a doppelganger.
And there's no way he could have intended that the real hero is going to stay in the rush, but everyone else is going to go up. But it works out in their favor, actually, because he can keep rushing and finish the rush kill. It's just positionally, I feel like that fight is always a win for Complexity, because it's really fortunate, by the way, that then Invoker just finishes Axe before that, because he had to 4-staff away, invoke Ghost Walk, and then quickly invoke Sunstrike as well to scout the rush. And if he hadn't Sunstrike the rush like that soon, the rush is gonna die in under 30 seconds. But they scouted immediately, turn around, he's already invoked Tornado as well. He can use that for his team to get into the black hole and the vacuum. And I think it's a super important timing for that Aghanim Scepter Invoker right before that fight.
And whether Complexity do take it. So now, what are we looking overall? Like, we're on the unlucky numbers. It's 13:30 at 30 minutes. But Complexity have managed to repair, over the course of the last 10 to 15 minutes, what's now been a 7k swing. Just as much coming out of the experience swing as well. But they're not ready to fight just yet. Like, there's no black hole available. But then again, maybe they do, because Swindles, he actually avoided going for the Blink Dagger. With the extra injection of money he got, he went directly into the Scythe of Vice. So they've got more control and guaranteed control on the anti-mage because he didn't go for a BKB.
Yeah, it's pretty huge, and we talk about how Dazzle can keep him alive, but these fights are actually very difficult to beat Dazzle because there's so much huge AoE damage to deal with, and the EMP, Tornado, Deafening Blast, there's the Black Hole, there's the Vacuum, there's just random PL lances, there's CM spells. For Dazzle to protect Anti-Mage, he really has to be very careful.
There's your Hex over on the Earth Spirit. Swindles, if he's really looking to find something, Z-Freak gonna BKB himself up, but that Impetus from Brax is a lot of work, but now Limp does even more. Diffusal is out, Maleficent as well. Brax, and that heal is so good. How do you even stop that? And they're fighting under Exorcism. This may not be the play here for Complexity, unless they can kill off MSS with a back wall back. It's not going to be enough. Not after TC joins the fight with a good Mana Void. They've lost two. Chessie's trying to run out. He dodges the ball of Earth Spirit, and he can't move up any further. The silence just lasts for way too long. MSS is also shallow graved up, and this is Shazam. One fight. Bring them back into this game.
It's because there was no black hole. It's ready now. It's only just ready now. But there was no black hole before, and I think they knew it. So I honestly think that they took down the time, and they knew there was still 30 seconds on black hole. Now's the time to force the fight.
Swindles needs to stop TC from doing this. Even if they've got to commit black hole to get this kill, like something.
He's got no BKB.
The silence is off. Limp as well as Swindles is kind of stranded. Z-Freak, he jumps forward. You're right, without that BKB, he can't do it. In fact, with a kick follow-up, you've actually lost Z-Freak. He's got buyback available, which he'll use, but now they've lost Swindles as well, who bought back before this fight began. This is becoming very, very costly. 5 kills in a row for no real counter here from Complexity. Now they lose their range racks, and their mid melee will follow. They cannot fight this. They basically have to let it go. Malefice or not, TC can burn or have all the mana burn. Z-Freak, the 3-man black hole. They will try it, but do they have enough? The kick stop Limp from doing the damage. The Aegis Immortal will now trigger out for TC. He's still barely alive. The attack from Z-Freak, perfectly timed to the last minute. Now they move out. They're looking for the kill. There's Brax over towards Hanskin. He's out of mana, however, thanks to the power of this PL defusal. Jason's also on the run. He's got Shallow Grave available, which can buy himself a little bit of time, but if only the coL snap would let him free. The mid melee ranks somehow, for Complexity, remains alive.
Yeah, I mean, they just had such a good understanding of what's going to happen. They're clearly on the same page. You can tell that these are players sitting in the same room, in the same house, because that Phantom Lance is on like a sliver of HP, maybe 100 HP. Sure, he's got an Aegis, but he's on 100 HP, and he turns around to charge in, just trusting that his Enigma is about a black hole everyone. And it works out. I mean, if the black hole is there without the PL charging in, they're not going to kill anyone. But the PL with 0 HP commits. Sure, he loses the Aegis, whatever. They managed to kill the anti-mage. They managed to like turn things around, and they're going to push back actually pretty hard as a result.
Yeah, they actually take out the tier 2 tower on the top lane as well, and with the harassment from Limp onto MSS, there's no way they're going to try and fight the mid unless Tornado, it does. It picks up the Earth Spirit with the extra stuns from coL Snap. Savage is down. Anti-Mage is up in 10 seconds. He'll have his Mana Void ready to go. MSS has Exorcism as well. Complexity, they're looking for a counter trade-off. Fortification of the tier 3 tower may be enough for them, because they don't have Black Hole again. But there's no reason to force the issue. The Aegis Immortal was expended during the last fight. But yeah, they should be beating out, they start the split push.
Oh, it's actually... looks like a smoke, a fake back, and they're gonna try and get another pick off. I mean, they've still got the Hex.
PL. They need to wait 30 seconds for PL. With Invoker, maybe, but...
They're not planning to take a fight. They're hoping to get one pick off, and this Enchantress is looking pretty ready for the taking right now.
The Swindles surged in, 4-star into the Hex. Chessie No mouse button required. They back into a two-man wall. Damn, that burn was good. But here comes your tornado as well. They'll send Brax up and towards the air. The Shallow Grave will keep them alive, and now MSS use the Exorcism. So they want to disengage right now. Complexity, nope. Keep the pressure on. Swindles, surge back off cooldown. He can't actually get out though, not with the mech as well. Savage is, however, very low, being phantom rushed down by these PL illusions. Limp getting in close as well with an Nova coming in from Hanskin. They slow him up. The bottom lane still pressuring in. Complexity, they managed to take a fight without having to use Black Hole. Yes, you lost your Darkseer, but you get hero trade-offs and you buy time. Where Shazam
and
can't
DP used ulti. I mean, DP used ulti and all he lost is one hero. I think they're definitely fine with that. And I think that this game is absolutely fundamentally about Black Hole. I mean, most Enigma games end up being this way, but that's the reason Shazam got so much done all of a sudden, winning that fight mid and taking the range tracks is because I'm so certain that they took down the time. They just knew that they're recording exactly when Enigma has Black Hole up again, and they exploited it. They went on the Enigma had to use BKB, so then when his Black Hole was ready, he didn't have the BKB to go with it, and that was really costly. He ended up having to buy back and use the two together. So I think you're totally, like, any fight that's sort of okay and doesn't use the BKB
Courier
and the Black Hole.
Courier snipe! Delivers the Shivas first though, and now TC. Complexity, Chessie, pushed up and down. Z-Freak's too far away to really go for it at the moment, and he's taking damage from Brax, so the Blink Dagger won't work. Chessie goes inside the Invis. They miss on the Crib Swarm, so they won't find the kill. In fact, now they've lost Brax on the back line. Chessie continues to run away. The Earth Spirit can't get out. The Crystal Main's there for Frostbite. Two heroes going the way of Limp as far as kills.
And Chessie does really well. Chessie kites them so well there while his teammates are like cleaning up one after the other.
They really didn't feel like he was willingly hiding. Like that Courier Snipe was meant to be so they could kill off the Shiva's guard. Hanskin and that Ghost Scepter. Wait, is that? Okay, get to that one in a moment. But Tornado up, Dazzle. He's out of the fight for the moment. Limp just wants this melee racks, but they haven't enough damage to really get it. He managed to dodge out Brax's initial lances.
Yeah, and the Black Hole plays are actually a bit more difficult when you're sieging the enemy base than when you're defending your base. And so I think Complexity, even though they've got the BKB Black Hole, don't feel that confident forcing the issue here. It's really quite difficult to force the enemy team to give you a nice Black Hole in that position.
And why force the issue anyway? Like, Limp still wants to farm up more. He's actually just finished up his second Diffuser Blade. He was down to one charge, which may not have been enough for the fight. He's sitting on 3.5k gold. Now Limp can get whatever the hell he wants.
And you're exactly right about not forcing the issue, because Complexity are not a side. I mean, draft-wise, they don't have time pressure on them. The game's not going to get worse for them the later it goes, and I think that Shazam recognized that too, and they smoke up altogether, wanting to use this anti-mage Abyssal Blade.
Well, Chessie's the only real target that's out there. Even if they do try and go for him, Hanskin's got that 4-staff available. Now TC, there's Chessie. 4-stars himself away. Hanskin again with that run off the Ghost Scepter, not protecting you from the Enchantress Impetus attacks.
That's going to be pretty good for Complexity. That's a big smoke gank with, including an anti-mage Abyssal Blade, which usually guarantees a kill from the smoke gank, and no one goes down at all.
Was that always an intended thing? That, like, after the Impetus has been thrown, like, Impetus doesn't care about Ghost Scepter?
I think so.
There's 2 times now I've seen Hanskin, like, he's triggered the Ghost Scepter while Impetus is in flight, but the Impetus still does damage.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think that seems okay to me. I'm not actually completely sure if that normal attacks don't work that way. Is that what you're saying? I'm not actually sure on the interaction.
Yeah, it's also because, like, I don't know if it means anything because it's also like pure. Like if it changes anything.
Radiant's top tower is under
because I remember with Wind Ranger they actually changed that interaction. It used to be that checks at the time that the attack goes, and then they changed it to it checks at the time it hits. And I'm not completely sure what the specific rules are for Ghost Scepter, to be perfectly honest.
Complexity. They were using Roshan as bait. They're coming quickly. Fortification has to be used by Shazam. They're all coming back. Jason. Well, he has a TP scroll, but he's still walking over the side shop. And now MSS caught out. Shazam. It seems like a scramble defense, and they're going to lose out big. No death box, no buyback, and Swindles actually stays alive through that. He was the one that was really being hit hard. But he lives up, Cracks is down on mana, they take the melee racks. And Complexity will just rotate towards the top.
This is huge. Without the buyback, it's so much easier to get value out of the black hole here. You can literally just go for anti-mage. You never need to go for anyone else. If anti-mage goes in, you commit the black hole and BKB to him. There isn't a defense here for Shazam.
Cracks also, wow, okay, nice 4-star Chesty. That was the push and pull of Savage. And he's being hunted down by PLs. None of them real. And he's realizing there's a sentry ward too. The Glimmer Cave's not protecting him. Top rank's been taken out. Complexity doing big damage to the buildings. But TC, the Mana Void! It does enough with his cleave damage as well, but Hanskin, he drops the freezing field. They drop the dazzle with it. And TC can't battle forever. He'll go down. Hanskin has himself a double kill. The Death Prophet, oh, he's still not alive yet. In fact, the anti-mage will have to buy it back if they want to stop this push from going any further. But then again, does Complexity even need to stay? The Illusions will finish up the range ranks in mid. But there's no reason to force the issue on bottom without the Enigma.
Yeah, and Hanskin got himself a sweet 4,000 gold from that fight. Buys a Blink Dagger, has an extra 2.4 on top of it. Okay, I'll get a Vlad's too. Why not? Got some big kills there. I think TC took the risk he needed to take, to be honest. Blinks in on the Enigma, knowing that if he goes on anyone else, he gets Black Hole. The Pistol Blade actually kills the Enigma. Honestly, his ulti almost burst down 3 people. Like, and ultimately it doesn't work out, and Complexity played it right. They didn't panic. But I think it's the correct play from TC there as well. I think that's the risk he had to take, and it came close to working.
Yeah. It would have been so much better just if the Death Prophet obviously was still alive. I'm not certain why Death Prophet was outside the base, if that was a 4-star Complexity that pushed her out there. My camera jumped down to her just a little bit after, like when she was actually outside. But that could have actually been the play that would push her out. Because it doesn't make any sense to loop her in from around the back before your team is in a position to fight.
I thought she was. I thought she was sneaking around and just got caught out. That's what it looked like to me. I'm not sure though.
Yeah. I came in at the last moment, so there was, like, I cannot answer the question because I did not see.
Alright, Enigma has Lincolns, by the way, so there's 0 way to stop a BKB Black Hole now, but you just can't do it.
No way TC wants to waste his Mana Void. They need all the damage they can get in this. I'll have ourselves a quick pause by Complexity. TC is walking forward, but this is the final push right now. Complexity know they've got all the power in the world. Blink Dagger's up, they've even still got the casual Chi sitting on the Invoker. Got the Aegis Immortal protecting that Phantom Lancer, so expect Limp to be over-aggressive. Run forward, soak up as much damage as possible, with just Doppelganger as well as Manta. Like, he never has, like, it's actually one of the really cool things about the PL, which makes the Aegis even better on him. He doesn't have, like, a big ultimate. Like, it's not like putting an Aegis Immortal over him, Death Prophet. She comes back to life again, Exorcism is down, oh, balls. It's not like that. Everything is such low cooldown from the PL. He can just be completely over-aggressive and then still come back and still have the same strength he had before.
Yeah, and he's almost guaranteed that when he respawns, he's got multiple things ready. He's gonna have his Lance ready, he's gonna have probably his Doppelganger ready, and absolutely, it's a very good Aegis holding hero. I want to go back a bit to, while we're poised, to what we were talking about in the draft, and I really think this game has resembled very well the draft analysis we're giving for how Complexity start the draft with the Invoker and the Darkseer, and they're just going for stable, like, difficult to lose the game heroes, because it just feels like Shazam, the way they had to beat them is to have a lead and just never drop it. And Complexity have a lineup which is very, very difficult for you to finish the game against, no matter how far you are ahead. And honestly, it's maybe at this point, people who just started tuning into the game now wouldn't even realize, but Shazam were very far ahead early on in this game. They had a great early game.
Yep.
But Complexity draft around that. They make sure, well, even if they beat us in the early game, we've got a draft which can fight back, make it difficult for them. And I feel like this is something that maybe is a bit lacking in a team like Shazam. I don't know if they have that depth to play this sort of, like, stage of the game.
You could also say it's one of these things where, like, if Complexity didn't have those kills on Shazam as they were leaving the mid-racks fight, like, it would have been so different. Chesty, okay, that initiation, they push him out far enough, he gets the cheese off. All the damage is repaired, and now it's the Hex over on top of Savage. The back two-man wall. You'll get MSS caught outside of Z-Freak's ultimate. That's fine right now. They want to get the kill on that Death Prophet. She hasn't committed her ultimate though, so she'll be able to buy back and then use it. The Shallow Grave's actually allowing MSS to stay alive, but they've lost the Enchantress, you've lost the Dazzle. A lot of the sustain doesn't exist from Shazam, and now Z-Freak, another hero who's like sub 100 life for complexity, capable of surviving. He's been sent back to base right now. The Invoker is actually going to drop in Hanskin. Okay, that Ghost Step doesn't protect you. Shut. Bottom rank is still taken by Limp, so Megas are up. Limp has the Aegis model, so he'll fight this solo if he has to. Up against Megas, Shazam's only got like one play to try and make... Is he a Manta? Is he gonna die? Yeah, there's Manta. There's Doppelganger. Radiant Sentry will not even watch him move, like he just limps away anyway. No,
it seems like they're not even bothering to chase him, they're just like, well, we got Megan, guys. Oh well.
There's not much point to it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's funny what happened to MSS in that fight. He was very nearly dead for a long time, and then all the supports were trying to fight him, and he realized, hey, these guys can't kill me. Eventually, he does commit his ulti, but all the while, what's happening at your base is that your axes are dying, you're being mega creeped, and so, you know, if you're watching the DP, you feel like, wow, what a turnaround. DP's starting to own things, but if you're watching the base, you're thinking, where on earth is that DP? Complexity or is he getting mega creeps?
Yeah.
And no, anti-mage does finish a BKB.
They got too many holes they can't plug.
Yep. And this is gonna be the all-in like final kind of Hail Mary play for Shazam. They're hoping they win it.
MSS will just BT forward to this. The issue they have is Brax is too far away. Like he's running forward now. They have a 45-second window without Black Hole.
By the way, Brax hasn't got a new item in like 10-15 minutes. He had the Mask of Madness ages ago.
Where's that Ice Wall chassis? They said it's just an EMP. With the stun, the back, the three-man wall from the Swindles will do some work in MSS. Here's your Exorcism, tries to go to work, needs more life coming in, however, he's losing it too quickly. Even with the Shallow Grave, he's only now in jeopardy of losing his life underneath the tier 4 towers. The Yulsum that comes up, Hanskin, he's going to help kill off Savage, thanks to that big let it go. TC, they need to bring down the tier 4s. Buybacks galore coming out here from Complexity as well. MSS, that ultimate, is only got a couple of extra seconds on it, but the damage is there from Brax, but would you believe it? The PL was already BT'd over, taking out the throw of the Radiant side. So, surprise! Shazam is going to lose game 3.
I mean, honestly, in that final push, that final fight there, Shazam kind of did all the things they could do. That was like the best that things could possibly go. They were killing heroes left, right, and center. Everyone had to buy back. And it still wasn't enough to race the clock. And that just kind of tells you what Mega Creeps put them in this game. Shazam was never in a draft this game.